I don't have a problem with the WNBA players asking for a raise. The WNBA is on a hot streak. I don't care about the previous 24, 25 years. As an investment, it's starting to pay off. And so this week they wore T-shirts saying, making a statement, you better pay us. But instead of just leaving it at that, Kelsey Plum for LA had to take a dig at Caitlin Clark.
Colin Cowherd just called out Kelsey Plum, and honestly, it was long overdue. While Caitlin Clark is single-handedly breathing new life into the WNBA and turning it into a profitable league, Plum decided to take a shot at the very person driving that success. Cowherd didn't hold back. He exposed a rising jealousy behind the scenes, and what he said might surprise you. So, what exactly did Cowherd say? And how does he compare Caitlin Clark to none other than Michael Jordan himself? If you're backing Caitlin Clark and everything she's doing for the game, drop a *** golden goose *** in the comments. Let's get into it.
Sure. Just United Front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
Oh boy.
Want to know just how dramatic this transformation has been? Imagine this. For over 20 years, WNBA players were flying on budget airlines, and yes, they even had to pay for water. These athletes were pushing through grueling seasons in half-empty arenas, playing for teams that bled money year after year. Merchandise sales were so low that even the most dedicated fans struggled to find a jersey to buy.
But why do you take a shot at the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines that is the planes are the color of a highlighter. Now you're flying private. Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself. All right? You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. Stop talking.
Then Caitlin Clark arrived, and everything changed almost overnight. Merchandise sales skyrocketed by 500%. League-wide attendance surged by 40%, with some arenas selling out completely where just months ago only a few thousand fans showed up. Teams that had been losing money for years suddenly turned into profitable operations. The Indiana Fever, once one of the WNBA's biggest financial struggles, now has a waiting list for season tickets.
I don't mind the T-shirts. I think you have leverage. I think you deserve more than 9%. But it's just misstep after misstep. It's time to grow up, girls. Like fast. Like this is the player that got you off the airline that was bright yellow. Right? She got you an upgrade to a better hotel as a band member.
But here's what really gets Cowherd fired up. The same players who were once stuck flying budget airlines are now traveling on private jets, staying in top-tier hotels, and seeing real increases in their salaries. The league's financial turnaround has been so dramatic that WNBA players are finally enjoying the kind of treatment they only dreamed of just 2 seasons ago. And yet, some veteran players are still throwing shade at the very person who made all of this possible.
They deserve a big raise, maybe not 50% of revenues, because NBA stars, there's a lot of them, and they move the needle. The WNBA stars, well, there's one that moves the needle. And here's the other thing to remember. Caitlin Clark's already rich. She made $11 million this year alone in endorsements off the court. So regardless of how these negotiations go, she's set. Nobody else is, right? So when somebody joins the band and everything gets upgraded, just be happy.
Let's be honest about what really happened here. Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA. She transformed it. Practically overnight, she turned the league from a financial afterthought into a thriving business. TV ratings soar every time she steps on the court. Sponsors are lining up with big checks because they know Clark draws viewers. Social media is buzzing like never before. Her jerseys are flying off the shelves faster than they can restock them. And here's the kicker. Every single player in the league is benefiting from this wave, whether they acknowledge it or not. That's where Cowherd's frustration hits a boiling point. He's watched this shift happen in real time, the rise of relevance, respect, and revenue, and is baffled that some players would choose to criticize the very person driving it all. After years of fighting for attention, for pay, for respect, why would anyone turn on the one player finally making it happen?
I know you wanted your song to be the first one they played. You wanted to make up the set. But I mean, it's not the T-shirts. You're going to do fine. I'd scale back on the Caitlin Clark angst.
Cowherd summed it up perfectly when he said the WNBA went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to the Four Seasons in a high-end shopping district. That one line captures exactly what Caitlin Clark has done for the league. The travel, the treatment, the financial stability, and even the respect from mainstream sports media. Everything leveled up because one player brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. And yet, some veteran players still seem stuck in the past, acting as if nothing's changed. They're enjoying Four Seasons level perks while criticizing the very person who got them out of the Motel 6. Then came the WNBA All-Star voting, and that's where things took an ugly turn, something Cowherd couldn't stay quiet about. The voting process is simple. Fans vote for their favorites, coaches pick the reserves, and players cast their own votes for who they believe deserves the spotlight. And that matters a lot. All-Star selections can directly influence endorsement deals, build a player's legacy, and shape how they're remembered in the sport's history. For young stars like Clark, making the team isn't just an honor, it's a game changer for their future.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting. In fact, she finished behind one of her own teammates in player voting for the All-Star game. The pettiness has no bounds. But it's interesting, for years, the WNBA players were pointing fingers. They were saying people are sexist, the media is sexist, we're not being promoted, we're underappreciated. And then they get the golden goose, and they don't like what it looks like.
So, where do the fans rank Caitlin Clark among WNBA guards? First, by a landslide. And where did her fellow players rank her? 9th. That's right, asterisk 9-star. The league's biggest attraction, the player filling arenas and shattering merchandise records, was placed 9th by the very athletes who are reaping the rewards of her presence, and this wasn't a tight vote, either. The divide between fan enthusiasm and player recognition was huge, a glaring disconnect that spoke volumes.
Iowa girl, Indiana girl, well, who knows, and I've said this for years, when the wave hits, ride it. You don't know what it looks like. Don't fight it. When Puka Nacua went in the 5th round of the Rams and they suddenly in camp went, oh, we just found a new number 1 receiver. He's better than Cooper Kupp. They didn't fight it. Did you think when you watched Tom Brady at the Combine, that looked like the GOAT? They had just signed Drew Bledsoe to a $103 million contract. That was a lot of money back then. And then a year in, they're like, we're going to go with Brady. They didn't fight it.
Let's be honest about what that ranking really says, because it had nothing to do with Caitlin Clark's performance on the court. She was putting up strong numbers, breaking records, and clearly earning all-star recognition by the stats alone. This wasn't about basketball, it was personal. Look back at other young phenoms in sports. When LeBron James entered the NBA, the veterans may not have loved the hype, but they acknowledged his talent. When Tiger Woods took over golf, older players might have felt overshadowed, but they respected what he brought to the game. With Clark, it feels different. The pushback hasn't been subtle. It's been obvious, and honestly, pretty petty. Cowherd didn't sugarcoat it. When those voting results came out, he called it exactly what it was, asterisk pettiness star. He highlighted how some WNBA players were showing a shocking lack of appreciation for the one person who's transformed their league from the ground up. Instead of rallying around what he called the golden goose, they are pushing back, and in doing so, they are working against their own best interests.
You know, there's obviously a racial component here. The WNBA players, they just don't like what the wave looks like. They wanted to fly private. They wanted to be more popular. They wanted a better deal in the CBA, which they'll get. They wanted sold-out arenas. They got it. They don't necessarily think it should be this. But again, you can't fight it. You just never know what success looks like.
What makes this even more frustrating is that players like A.J. Wilson and Kelsey Plum have gained directly from Caitlin Clark's rise. Their profiles have grown, their games are getting more national exposure, and the overall spotlight on the WNBA has never been brighter, all because Clark brought in a wave of new fans and massive media attention. Their improved salaries, upgraded travel, and better working conditions are a direct result of the revenue and relevance Clark helped generate. Yet when it came time to show even the smallest gesture of professional respect through All-Star voting, they ranked her below players who haven't come close to matching her impact.
In the country would love to go viral every day for free marketing. If they knew how to do it, they'd all be viral every day. Like, you just don't know. Is it authentic? It touches people. There's a tentacle of emotion involved, and suddenly some small town kid goes viral, or a singing frog. Who knows? I wouldn't have guessed that Caitlin Clark would be this transformative. I wouldn't have guessed Tom Brady would be the GOAT. Don't fight it. The wave, the meteor, doesn't necessarily look like you think it's going to look.
This voting controversy perfectly mirrors what we've seen on the court all season. The hard fouls, the excessive contact, the clear targeting. It all comes from the same source. Some veteran players just can't accept that a sophomore has completely upended everything they thought they knew about the league. Their frustration is spilling over, whether it's in how they vote or how they play. They are punishing Clark both at the ballot box and on the court, all because she's the reason their league is finally succeeding.
People are saying, hey man, this league has never made money. It's an investment. It's now going to make money. And by the way, this is the least profitable, arguably, it'll be over the next 10 years. It's only going to get more profitable as women's basketball gets better, as the Caitlin Clark momentum train gets bigger. I mean, this year, she's not playing well. She's hurt. She's not there for all the games. So this is actually not as great as it could be. Like Michael Jordan, hurt year 2, next 12 years were legendary. That's what it's going to be.
Cowherd made a comparison that cuts right to the heart of the Clark situation, one that might make some people uncomfortable. Both Caitlin Clark and Michael Jordan burst onto the scene as flashy rookies who changed their leagues overnight. Jordan turned the NBA into a global powerhouse, and Clark is doing the exact same thing for the WNBA today. The parallel is so clear, it's surprising more people aren't talking about it.
Caitlin Clark's gotten really good really fast. It's like the end of year 1 for Michael Jordan or year 3 for Michael Jordan. She's gotten really good really fast. And you got to put a body on her, or you got to double team her, or she's going to embarrass you. She's shooting 33-footers. And what happened last night's a byproduct of that. This is what happened to MJ. She's number 1 and 2 in every offensive stat. She's hitting more threes this season than Steph Curry did in his first MVP season, and her game embarrasses.
The physical punishment both players have endured says it all. Michael Jordan faced a notorious Jordan rule from the Detroit Pistons, a strategy designed to wear him down through relentless, aggressive contact. Caitlin Clark has been subjected to similar targeting throughout this season. Just as referees struggled to protect Jordan early in his career, officials today are struggling to keep Clark safe on the court. Cowherd pointed out that a lot of questionable fouls against Clark are being overlooked to the point where it almost feels unfair.
It's a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up. She wasn't hurt. She did more trash talking. She hit more threes. She remained remarkable, just like all the great. You know, if you respect women, stop pandering. She's tough. She's feisty. She likes to taunt and talk, and nobody quite knows what the hell to do.
Remember when Clark got injured and missed a game? That's a story we've seen before. Just like with Jordan early in his career, when opponents tried to break him down through tough, physical play. The referees struggled to keep pace with the sheer skill and intensity these generational talents brought to their leagues. Both the NBA and WNBA had to adapt, finding ways to safeguard their biggest stars while preserving the fierce competition fans love.
Steph Curry's first couple years in the league. Thank God for Draymond Green. And by the way, this league, they knew what they were getting into, right? Like, and I'll get to this in a second, but they brought Sophie Cunningham over in a trade for a reason. She's the youngest black belt in the state of Missouri's history, 6 years old. They brought her over to protect Caitlin Clark because they saw this puppy coming. The league doesn't quite know what to do, but the Fever did. And so, again, you got to put a body on her. You got to get physical.
You've got to get physical. So, what did both teams do? They brought in enforcers. The Chicago Bulls signed Charles Oakley to protect Jordan, while the Indiana Fever brought in Sophie Cunningham to do the same for Clark. Cowherd pointed out that the Fever, like the Bulls, recognize the importance of protecting their superstar. This isn't a coincidence. It's smart business when you have a player who changes the entire game.
Look at the history of basketball. High school, college, WNBA, NBA. If there's an offensive player and they're humiliating you, Steph, Shaq, MJ, Caitlin, what do? You can't trap her. She'll dribble through it. You got to put a body on her. You got to double team her. You try to get in her head with trash talking. It's not working at all. It's the ultimate compliment, in my opinion.
The merchandise sales and TV ratings tell the same powerful story. Cowherd called Clark a dynastic TV rating changer, the exact phrase once used to describe Jordan's rookie impact. Both players became must-watch television right away. The WNBA is experiencing the same explosion in viewership and merchandise sales that the NBA saw when Jordan first arrived. What makes this comparison uncomfortable for some is that both Jordan and Clark face serious resentment from veteran players who felt overshadowed by these rising stars. Some WNBA veterans don't like the spotlight Clark commands, just as NBA players initially resisted Jordan's rapid rise. The All-Star voting controversy only confirms that this resentment is real, and it's still very much alive.
And so the first year Caitlin Clark was in the WNBA, they were hazing her. They're not hazing her anymore. They're just trying to figure out how the hell to stop her. Okay, it's not hazing. It's, all right, traps, pressure. So the Fever saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan.
The college popularity factor ties it all together perfectly. Jordan's fame at North Carolina helped fuel his transformative impact on the NBA, just as Clark's stardom at Iowa is doing the same for the WNBA. Both players brought huge college fan bases with them, reshaping the landscape of their leagues in the process. This comparison gives Cowherd confidence that Clark will come out of these challenges even stronger. He believes that, just like Jordan's early struggles made him unstoppable, the hurdles Clark faces now will only sharpen her game. The future of the WNBA depends on embracing this transformation, not resisting it.
Caitlin Clark now is like kerosene to the physicality flame. So you have physicality in this league, and now you get this flashy player, and they don't know how to officiate her, they don't know how to defend her. But I would say, when I hear this, Colin, the WNBA, Colin, has got to do something. Yes, they do. Understand, this is the arc of a new superstar in your league. It'll start with hazing. It'll go to physicality. It'll go to flagrants. It may go to technicals. You'll eventually have to get a Sophie Cunningham or a Charles Oakley. I mean, Wayne Gretzky did this for years. They figured it out in hockey. How do you stop Gretzky? Oh, we can't. How do you stop MJ? We can't. How do you stop Caitlin Clark? You guys understand, this is the worst she'll ever be. She's getting better, and they can't stop her.
Cowherd's final prediction landed like a thunderclap. The future of the WNBA hinges on Caitlin Clark. Whether jealous veterans like it or not, Clark's breakout sophomore season is set to transform the entire league's landscape. The momentum is undeniable, and Cowherd believes the WNBA is finally on the brink of the financial breakthrough it has chased for decades. This goes beyond just one player. It's a full-scale revolution for women's basketball. Veteran players now face a stark choice: embrace Clark's wave or get left behind as it surges forward. The financial reality is crystal clear. TV contracts, sponsorship deals, and the salary increases everyone wants all depend on Clark's continued success and the league's ability to capitalize on her growing star power. Cowherd stressed that the league is riding a hot streak, and the momentum couldn't be stronger. Miss this moment, and a chance like this may never come again.
Intensity and heat create steel. This will only make Caitlin Clark a better player. It will only make the Fever more championship ready. And the Indiana fans, good for you. You're going to have the great watch of the next 15 years because they're never trading her. She's the Steph Curry. They're never trading her.
Look at how other sports leagues handled the arrival of generational talents. Some veterans adapted and thrived alongside the newcomers, while others resisted and got left behind. The smart players recognized the shift and positioned themselves accordingly. That's exactly what players like Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston have done. They've embraced playing with Clark instead of fighting her rise. They supported her through challenges, celebrated her wins, and built chemistry that lifts the entire team. These players will be remembered as key parts of Clark's ascent, not obstacles in her way. They chose collaboration over competition, and their careers will benefit for years to come. Now, imagine what 2025 could look like if the league fully commits to the Clark era. Sold-out arenas becoming the norm, not the exception. Sponsorship deals that truly move the needle financially. Young girls proudly wearing WNBA jerseys to school because their heroes are professional basketball players. And television ratings, so strong network compete fiercely for broadcasting rights. This is the future. Cowherd envisions, if everyone gets on board.
Now, Caitlin Clark is obviously the jet fuel. Half the audience goes when she's not there, but that's okay. It took Conor McGregor to the UFC and John Jones. It sometimes in emerging leagues, it takes a superstar. And now, America is all into UFC. But it does take sometimes these special athletes. And it can get really, really bumpy.
If resistance continues, the league risks splitting into two camps. Those riding the Clark wave to success, and those stubbornly fighting against their own prosperity. The choice seems obvious, yet some players keep making it harder than it needs to be. Cowherd didn't hold back with his boldest statement yet. Clark will define the next decade of women's basketball, no matter the internal politics. The numbers don't lie. Fan engagement is off the charts, and the financial transformation is already underway. Whether veteran players like it or not, Clark has become the face of the sport. The league has two options: embrace this reality and thrive together, or watch some players get left behind while others rise alongside the superstar who changed everything. This transformation is happening, with or without everyone's blessing. Cowherd's message is clear. Stop biting the hand that feeds you and start appreciating the golden goose. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth, and fighting that success makes no sense. If you want to support real change in women's basketball, back Caitlin Clark and the players smart enough to embrace this new era, like Lexi Hull, Alia Boston, Sophie Cunningham, and Kelsey Mitchell. These players understand what's happening and are positioning themselves for long-term success. 2025 could be the year the WNBA finally breaks through into mainstream sports culture if everyone stops fighting each other and starts working together. If you support Caitlin, comment *** golden goose ***, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.